RV slash Mercedes van has been in the Mercedes service center for 7 weeks.
Yeah.
And I couldn't get in the van, so we're not sure exactly why the batteries are dead. You have to push this in and then connect. Okay, so we can see the panel. And somehow the van has got damaged in their lock.
LaLa go, the world says hello.
Hey, Larry and Linda here.
Everywhere their old memories flow, from the mountains high to the oceans low. Adventures alive with every LaLa go.
Hey guys, so there's something been going on with our RV, our van, for about the last 7 weeks, and it's been really discouraging for us. Our RV slash Mercedes van has been in the Mercedes service center for 7 weeks.
Yeah.
We were actually on our way. I had made reservations for a campground. Specifically, it was for the Soto, which is a really interesting campground, and we wanted to show you guys. And went out in the RV that morning, and the battery was completely dead. Now, we hadn't driven it for 3 or 4 weeks after our big trip to Pennsylvania and Illinois. And so, but I was totally surprised that the battery was completely dead. Hey guys, well, come out to get prepped to take a little trip today, and in the van, and I couldn't get in the van. I thought my key fob, the battery was dead, and I tried Linda's key, and it didn't work either. Then I was able to pull the little key out of the fob and open the driver's door, and the chassis battery is pretty close to dead, so I'm not sure what happened there. I don't know if you can see that or not, but it says 3.4. The house batteries are fine. They're at 100%, 14.2 volt. So I've got a little jump starter thing that I'm going to see if that helps to get it started and running to charge up the batteries. And so, went out, jumped it, got it started, let it run. Okay, so got this little jump starter that I've never used before. Bought it to carry with us, and so open it up, and so here it is in the case, and got jumper cables, and this is the charger itself, or the jump starter. So it's got a flashlight, some USB ports. So I'll put together and see if we can get it to work. Okay, so before we go, I just wanted to show you. So we've got the key fob here, and I wasn't sure how to get in when the key fob didn't do anything. And I went over here on the driver's side. There is a little keyhole here, and that's the only place there is one. And I thought, well, maybe there must be a key in here. And there's a little silver button here, and if you push that in, then you've got this valet key or whatever, and then you can unlock it. So I did that, and the house batteries are fine. They're sitting at 100%. We haven't started this in probably close to a month, so we're not sure exactly why the batteries are dead. So I've got this jump starter here. Now, unfortunately, the cables aren't real long, but we're going to give it a try. So the way this works in the Mercedes, here is your positive connection, and you have to push this in and then connect your clip to it. Okay, so that seems to be connected. And then come over here. The negative is over here. And that's where you connect that. So, and I got a little green flashing light here. It says it's correct. I don't know what boost does. Oh, I heard it do something there. Okay, so something's kicked on there. I'm gonna okay. Okay, they have to work a little faster. So I'm going to try that boost again because it kicked it on like if you had turned the key but not had it turn over, just go into battery mode. Okay, so it is running. I don't know. So that seemed to do it. I mean, it got it started, so now we'll see if sitting here running for a while, it'll charge up the battery. And the battery still seemed to be dead. So took it and drove it down the interstate for 40 minutes. And it had a lower charge than when we started. So it was confusing that it wasn't charging at all. So we had it towed to the nearest Mercedes service center because that's the way it works. If it's a Mercedes problem, they have to fix it. If it's something with the RV part, then in our case, Midwest Automotive Design would be responsible for fixing it.
Now, let me say something here. Now, we know now, and this was partially our ignorance. We do know now that you have to start it like every 20 days, supposedly, and run it. And so that's something we know, but we were never taught that.
Yeah, that was a big surprise. And I'd seen some issues where people talking about the battery going dead and stuff, but it just didn't seem like it was the same situation. I didn't realize that that's what it was.
We should have done our due diligence to figure that out, but honestly, it didn't even dawn on us.
Yeah, and it's a very minor part, if you can find it at all, in the owner's manual that I have.
Right.
But
and
what we found
that we didn't get enough instruction.
It's not covered under the warranty, and we were going to be charged $550 to replace the battery. The bad thing is it took them 2 weeks once they got the van, even though they made an appointment, whatever that means, for it to arrive on a certain day, which it did. It was 2 weeks later when they actually looked at the situation and told me about the battery. And then, unfortunately, it was also that same day that they called me and said that somehow the van had got damaged in their lot. And so
somehow
there was a big dent in the front, and so there's I don't know, it's been a total of 7 weeks.
Larry said,
2 weeks ago they called us and saying it was done. We went up there and looked, and the repair on the bumper in the front was really bad.
Yeah, they didn't do
and
a
they
very good
agreed
job.
with it. They apparently send it out to a body shop, and for whatever reason, they didn't examine it well. But once we were there, then there were some people who did examine it along with us and could clearly see that there's still an issue.
Now, let's pause here and we'll come right back to you. Okay, so picking up where we left off. So after we got there, I showed them what I was seeing and they agreed with me. Right?
Yeah. So they have spent the last couple weeks doing whatever they're doing with it.
They sent us pictures.
Ordering a piece. They sent us pictures after we requested pictures.
Of the damage.
Yeah.
And so I was able to evaluate it a little bit when I got there, and I realized they hadn't even replaced the fog lamp frame. The light in the frame was loose. And it was in really bad shape. The damage that they did, of course, when they tried to polish it out, they didn't do a good job. It was bad. It looked like it had been an accident still. And so they ended up taking off the big bumper, taking off the spoiler, fixing everything. I don't know what they did to the paint, but they buffed everything out. We got pictures this morning, finally. And now, I wanted to tell you this because the man that he's had contact with, he's supposed to be our advisor, and he is just the worst at communicating, absolutely the worst. But since we went in and couldn't pick it up that day, we met someone else that I'm not sure what her title is. She's maybe an office manager. I don't know who she is, but she's been fabulous. So when she got a hold of us today, I've actually talked to her a couple times today. She sent us video, she sent us pictures. So we are going to pick it up again today. We'll look at it for sure, but it looks pretty good in the pictures and the video, right?
Yeah,
right?
I haven't seen him.
Well, oh yeah, he was driving. So we're in Tampa, and after we're done here, we're going to drive over to pick it up.
Yeah. So we're going to drive to Wesley Chapel and pick it up. We don't live either one of those places.
It's a ways for us to get here.
Right. So, but yeah, something I wanted to say just a little bit, and I don't want to be super negative, but it was a super negative experience.
A little bit.
The communication was awful. The man refused to call me. He would occasionally send me a obscure text message and
without any information,
and then wouldn't respond to any text message I sent him.
And he is supposed to be our communication point.
Right. Now, we did work with a Mercedes dealership in Gainesville right after we picked up the RV and had an issue.
They were wonderful.
And they were great. The advisor was great, kept us informed all the way, explained everything to us.
Because what I think a lot of dealerships do this. They do this, I know they do this at Nissan as well, but they'll have an advisor that works with you and coordinates with whoever is working on the vehicle so that you get complete information and you're kept up to date. That's what this guy was supposed to do, and he didn't. He just didn't.
Right. It's been an awful experience. Now, it's not costing us anything, but
no, we didn't even have to pay for the battery this time because they
gifted us the battery
the
after they told us that the van was damaged. They said, well, we're going to gift you the battery. Been a very frustrating experience.
It has.
And I thought that for some reason I thought Mercedes, being a luxury brand, maybe the vans aren't, but vehicles typically are, that it would be a more professional service.
Well, it's a $250,000 van. You would think.
Well, it's not to Mercedes.
No, it's not. It's not to Mercedes, but you know what I mean. And so, what we're hoping for is that we go pick it up, and everything that had to do with the Mercedes dealer is good. We do have a couple of other things we're worried about. Yeah. So the same day that the van wouldn't start, the power, the inverter didn't seem like it was working properly either. At the time, we thought, well, maybe it's because the chassis battery was dead. I was told by Midwest Automotive Design that they should not be connected in any way, so that shouldn't affect it.
but we haven't had a chance to get back in there in 7 weeks since we first noticed.
And you guys know from some of our earlier videos that what they say is it's supposed to be is not always the case. Because quality control being what it is in the RV industry, that's what we've found. So
well, we're going to be picking it up, and of course going to show you how to jumpstart your Mercedes if you don't know how to do that, and what we kind of went through there. So our next stop should be picking up the van, and we'll take a look at it. Looks much better. You were worried about this.
I'm sorry?
I said you were worried about this,
I am, yeah.
but it looks okay. Hi.
Hi, Michelle. Hi. All right, you're going to get a hug from me. Thank you. Thank you.
Okay, we just picked up the van. We stopped about a mile down the road at a rest stop.
And I'm in a car, and he's in the van, so
Right.
I just ran over here to meet with him.
Right. We took a look inside a little bit. What we found out is that the inverter is still not working, just as it wasn't working before. Now, what that means is we don't have any power to the big appliances like the air conditioner or the refrigerator. I don't know what else may be using the inverter. On the screen, it says NA under inverter. If I push it, then it's disabled. So from the brief conversation I had with Midwest Automotive Designs, 7 weeks ago when this got picked up, was that it sounded like the inverter wasn't working right, and he thought that he might be able to walk me through something. I've read in the meantime that you might be able to restart it manually from the inverter, and so I might try that. Another thing I read is that you have to disconnect all the power from the inverter. I don't know if I'll go down that road or not, but we'll keep you informed on that, because we anxiously want to get this back in working condition so we can do some more moving around the country.
We miss traveling. I greatly miss traveling.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Hang on. You're gonna have to hold this for a bit. My arm was dying.
Yeah, it's tough on your arm. I didn't bring a holder. And anyway, so that's where we're at the moment. We may check in a little later and let you know what's happening then. Right?
Yeah.
Anything else?
Do you want to show them?
Yeah, I was going to show that.
Okay. He's just going to show you a couple things.
Okay, so we're in the back of the van. I'm turning the power battery, whatever, the battery switch on. And I'll go ahead and turn some lights on. There, lights are on. Lights work okay.
Oh.
If you hear that noise,
Go turn
that's
it off.
because there is a radio that comes on automatically that isn't connected to anything. There's no antenna. I can't get a channel. And that is back here. But there's no separate power switch for this. So all you can do is mute it, and that's about it, because the power switch is the battery power switch. So let's go back up here, and I'm just going to show you the control panel. And you
might want to turn this light off because it's causing a thing.
No, it's all right.
No. There.
Okay, so from here, if I go to the air conditioner, and that's how we first noticed it, that it should kick on by hitting cool, and you can see the little snowflake comes on, but it does not blow. And that was our first indication. Even adjusting the temperature and the fan speed doesn't make any difference. Normally it would kick on. And so that is our indication that something just beeped. And so I'm going to turn that on. But if I go to the power, so you can see here that the inverter says NA, which the guy I spoke to indicated that meant it wasn't on. The other option is disabled, which I know that means it's not on. So that's where we're at. I mean, lights work. I don't know. The refrigerator light comes on, but I doubt that the cooling comes on. I might go ahead and just turn it on to see if by the time we get home, if it's done any cooling.
Oh,
so we'll see.
Wait.
What?
It just came on.
Yeah. So, I mean, if it's a 12-volt refrigerator.
Wow.
If it's a 12-volt refrigerator, I guess it wouldn't.
It's blowing down there.
Yeah.
Right there.
But, you know, lights on. It's making a noise. So, I don't know. We'll have to see. So, there we are. We'll keep you posted. Okay, we are at the back of the van. We looked at the Firefly panel, and it showed us that the inverter was either disabled or NA. Now, I had a talk with my old friend ChatGPT, and he told me that sounds like the inverter needs reset. I also seen some conversations on the owners group that indicated the same way. That it sounds like the inverter has lost communication with Firefly and needs to be reset. So, going to attempt that. There's a couple different things to try, and so I'm going to work with what ChatGPT gave me, which is very similar to some of the stuff I've seen on the owners group. A little more detailed though. So let's take a look at where we're heading, which is under the seat, the back seat here, the bed, couch, love seat. So it's down here. There's a little panel there under the seat. This is the motor for moving the seat into the bed position. Here's a panel, and inside here is where the inverter and some other power related equipment is located. Hopefully getting this panel off, which I've done it before, it doesn't give you a great view, but hopefully it'll give me enough of a view to there. Otherwise, I'd have to take off this bed here, which is kind of a big production because you have to take out a bunch of bolts, and they're not easy to get to here and down there on both sides, and I'd just rather not do that. So we'll see how that goes. Okay, so we can see the panel, and it's flashing air 4. There's a red light there. That says okay. So, and there's the power button. I'm going to try just holding the power button in and restarting it. So there, I've turned the power off. I just attempted to turn it back on. It came on, or the fan started up and then it shut back off. So I'm going to try it again. Okay, it lights up, but then let's see. And it shuts back off. Let me go turn the battery switch on. Okay, so come back up here and turn the battery switch on, and we'll see what happens here. And on the power, okay. Inverter enabled. They used to say disabled or NA. So we may be good. You can probably hear or possibly hear that radio that comes on every time we turn the power on. From what I've been told, the only switch to turn this on and off is the battery switch. So let's just, since that looks good, enabled, just gonna try the air conditioner. That's my test. And put it on cool. See if it kicks on. It's kicking on. So, I think we're in business. That was relatively easy. Don't know why I lost communication, but that was an easy enough fix. It's a little tough for me to get to that inverter with my shoulders and my big body underneath the couch there, but it's doable. It's hard to film it or record it. So, go around and test everything out and see if everything else is working properly. I am going to, I'll give you a shot of what the inverter panel looks like when it is working properly. So, I guess it really doesn't say much. But that green light's lit, so that's good. So, I went over everything in the van, and RV appears to be in working order at this time. So, we're just about ready to plan our next excursion. We've got a lot of things in mind that we want to do. We kind of have to wait on a few things, some doctor's appointments, some family stuff that's going on. And before we make any reservations, we don't want to make more reservations and cancel them because we've actually done a couple of those already. But just to recap, so, we had a pretty negative experience with the Mercedes service center dealership that we went to, and but it's over with. Moving forward, we learned how to jump start the battery, and that jump starter that I have, I think it's a fairly popular one. I'll leave a link to it below. It seemed like it worked really well. I did have to use it like 5 or 6 times over 2 days before it got towed, and it only went down about halfway and charges up relatively fast. So I think that's a good item to have. And we learned a little bit about the inverter and how to reset it. And I know there's more things that could go wrong, so we'll just keep learning. I am going to get a kind of an extension panel that gives you plug into the inverter, and then you can set it up somewhere else, so you don't have to crawl under there to push the buttons or see the status. So when I get that, I'll show you guys that installation. So not the most exciting video here. I think it's something that if you're a new Mercedes owner, the important thing is don't let your van sit. They were they're pretty clear about not covering the battery because we let it sit and under the warranty, which upset me a little bit. I called Mercedes, and they said any warranty issues I had to work out with the service center advisor. So that's where if they hadn't damaged the van, we would have paid for it. I think I would have rather paid for it than got the van damaged. But that's not how it turned out. But if you like this video, you like our videos, give us a thumbs up, please, and consider subscribing. And we'll see you next time. Thanks.
See you next time. Thanks for joining us. It was fun. No, it was so much fun. Until the next ride. Until the next ride. See you next time. Yeah, we're not done. The clock keeps ticking. The night won't wait. Never too late. Oh, you clapped, you cheered, you stayed a while, and left us all with a bigger smile. See you next time. Thanks for joining us. It was fun. No, it was so much fun. Until the next ride. Until the next ride. See you next time. Yeah, we're not done. See